This is Mike with Motivate Fabrication. Hey guys, starting on this Hendey Lathe project that I showed you in my intro video. Spent a little time getting some of the covers off, and this thing is dirty. Wow, did they make this stuff heavy duty back then. Got a 5 horsepower motor, 3 belts, this engages and disengages the auto feed gearbox. Some more covers. This is all cast iron. And the paint is just flaking off. Kind of unusual because, well, the paint flaking is not unusual, but for some reason they left this. I don't know if that's the original color or I'm not sure, but I know this tannish color is not original, but it seems like the gray may be an original color. But I just kind of wanted to give you a little closer view of what kind of condition this thing is in. Of course, it's 3-phase. And this one does have the taper attachment. The one I restored last time, it is missing the taper attachment, but it still works. You can still use it as long as you have the this bolt that locks this sliding mechanism. As long as you have it tight, it doesn't move. But plans for this, same as what that is, to restore it. I'm not going to paint it green. I'm going to paint this one whatever original color is. I suspect it's this gray. And for those of you that are into these, serial number on this one is 38224 H1244. So pretty excited about this. I'll bring you guys back in a little bit later when I get some more disassembly. All right, getting ready to pull the motor out. I was able to get the belts disconnected. This whole bottom plate lifts up to give you clearance to get the belt off. I got all 4 bolts out of the motor right there, and there, and there's 2 in the back. And then the electrical is held on by these screws and nuts. Put the ones back, and they are marked. I should be able to just lift this out of there, hoping. All right. Get the 5-horse, 3-phase Westinghouse. Having some trouble getting this off. Supposed to separate here. I think I got all the bolts out. Well, it must be frozen. I'll bring it back when I get that off. So I've been using a hammer and chisel trying to separate this. Well, it turns out this is a little door that I really couldn't tell was there because it was so full of crud. And there's two more bolts here and here. What's a little concerning is how much these bolts are already loose, holding this housing further back on. So either it's vibrated loose or someone's been in there and didn't tighten them down properly. I'll get that off and I'll bring it back. So that came off real easy with getting those two bolts out. And this has the same main clutch as my other lathe. There's a friction disc and a steel disc in between each one of these, and these pointed parts of the friction disc engage into this area. Now I'm going to pull off this this part here. This is the actuation rod. This is adjustable. That's how you adjust it with that. You rotate, push that lever in and over, and you can rotate this collar, change the clearance. That's how this particular clutch is adjusted on this machine and that machine. I understand this part is expensive if you don't keep lubrication in that cup. And here's the fork, which is hooked to those two. That linkage is across to there. Up underneath. Which attaches to there. This is the kind of the balance weight. So that's how the main spindle clutch works. I'm going to pull the rest of this off and I'll bring it back in. Here, get the housing off. Essentially, that housing's held on by 3 bolts. All 3 of those bolts, the threads are stripped in the cast iron. won't tighten down. Really, the only thing that was preventing that housing from coming forward was this keyway. Hitting that, it wouldn't come over any more than about 1/8. But got it off. The brake disc, it's right there. And this is the other side of the brake disc. I may have some thread damage here. I never had to take a nut off. It's either missing. It's a little bit different setup than my other machine, so I'm not sure exactly what's up with that just yet. These should be fairly easy to repair with some Healy coils or something. Still has oil in it. So far I haven't found anything that's going to prevent me from continuing on with this restoration. But that's it for this part. Main clutch disassembly. In the next segment, part 2, I'm going to lift the headstock off and we'll inspect the mechanism that's kind of made Hendey famous, the reversing clutch mechanism that allows you to thread on these without a thread dial. You can actually reverse the lead screw forward and reverse, and we'll take a look at how that mechanism works on part 2. See you then. Thanks.